Okay guys, quick update with Bitcoin. So I'm going to give your key support and resistance levels to play. I'm also going to explain to you why I believe in about 5 days the shit's going to hit the fan. And I'm going to give you my prediction how I believe this is going to play out. And I have a lot of information to share with you here. All of this ties in together and it will make sense by the end of this video. Also, if you watched the last video, I said all you had to do was like, comment, and subscribe, and I will pick 2 winners to win one of these silver 1 ounce Bitcoin coins. So in this video, I will be picking those 2 winners. And same thing, guys, if you like, comment, and subscribe in this video, in the next video, I will pick the 2 winners from this video. And it does not matter where you're located, we pay for shipping, okay? So let's get into this. So if you watched the last video I put up, it was about 7 days ago. I was telling you where your key support and resistance levels were. I shorted from up here around 29,700, 29,800. But at the time of this video, I said, look, your next resistance is 29,454. Your next support level is 28,683. You can see how this played out. We came back up. We tested 29,601. And then we dropped from that point. So those were your 2 points to pay attention to. It was either going to be 29,454 or 29,609, and the highest point would go 29,873. We got rejected 29,609 right here. And then we dropped, and this is where you would long was 28,787. Now I'm going to show you, I was in a trade earlier in a Discord. I got out of that trade. Made more sense that we'd push up, and I'm glad I did because we pushed up a pretty good bit. And I'm currently in a short now. I'm going to show you again, what I'm expecting to play out, and I will come back and give you the support and resistance levels. So again, I'm currently in a short right now. I trade with Bigot. I love the platform. I trust the platform. If you want to sign up for Bigot, the link to sign up is pinned in the first comment and description. Also, I have a tutorial video I put out teaching you how to trade on Bigot. So if you want to watch this, I teach you how to do trigger orders, set up a stop loss, adjust your stop loss. So definitely worth paying attention, checking out. I'll put a link up this video now if you want to check it out. And guys, if you're in the US, you're looking for an option without having to use a VPN and no KYC, CoinCatch is a great option. I have the link for that pinned in the first comment description. And I have another one in there as well if you want to check it out to trade on. So in Discord, I made a post. This was 10 a.m. This is August 7th. And by the way, guys, if you want to sign up to get access to all these live charts in Discord, the link to sign up is pinned in the first comment description as well. So I said I went ahead and closed my short. While anything can happen, I just don't see us dropping to 28K, and this is key to what I'm going to show you in this video without taking out 30K first. So I closed my short, and I will go over this stuff down below, but I closed my short, and the reason for that is I did expect us to push up to 30K. This has to do with heat maps, which I'm going to show you. You can see I'm currently up $1,400 in my trade now. If I go into order details, you can see when I closed my trade, I made $1,469. So I got out of that short, opened a new short, and again, when I show you how I'm expecting this to play out, this will make more sense. So first of all, let me explain something to you about these exchanges. And this is just what I believe how this plays out, all right? So exchanges make their money off of fees. So every time you open a short or a long, it costs, depending on how much you put into the trade, it costs more money to the fee is a lot more to enter your trade. So when you open your trade, you have to pay a fee. And when you close your trade, you pay a fee. That's how exchanges make their money, by getting the fees. And they, like, if they stop you out, they make money because they just closed your trade and they get more money, right? Now, on the flip side, people long and short. So typically when people are longing and people are shorting, it's usually a wash. I don't know if you can see above, but up here it shows, typically it's even. So there's 48% are long and 51% are short. So typically that's an even number. So it's a wash. So consider exchange a broker. So if somebody longs and they lose money, that money goes into an account, right? And then whoever is shorting wins that short, well, that money goes to the person that was short. So typically it's a wash. Sometimes the exchanges might make money and they might lose money, but in general, they pretty much break even. Again, they make their money on trading fees. Now, I do believe that they do send the price up or down to try to get that as even as possible. And this has a lot to do with my analysis and my prediction of what I think is going to happen. If you see where my cursor's at up here, you'll see this light blue. Now these are open orders, these are shorts, and that means there's a lot of liquidity here, but there is so much more liquidity below, down from 29,500 all the way down to 28,000. The brighter, when it's yellow that's a lot of liquidity or high leverage positions. And when it gets down to when it's orange or red, that's a lot of liquidity. You can see down here on 12,000 all these buy orders. This is completely dark red. So orange means a lot of liquidity. Light blue means there's not as much liquidity. So now I'm going to tell you this right off the bat, and I'll show you the charts in a pattern that's repeating, but it just makes sense. They're not going to send it down to 28K, all right? Because if they do that, I think markets are going to crash. So that's why price has just been ranging up and down. Now, I don't think they have enough juice to push this up to 32K. I just don't think enough whales are buying. I don't think exchanges have enough money to do it. I think a lot of exchanges are hurting right now, and that's why they're sending price up and down. This is like a perfect range for them. But they don't have to send price all the way up to 32K. Now, again, at some point, I do believe they're going to drop it below 20K, and I'll show you this as well. But the reason that they don't have to drop it all the way down to 28K right now, they don't have to push it up to 32K, is because people that are short from above, when price drops, those people that are shorting get emboldened, they add to their short, and when they do this, they lower their liquidation point, all right? When price is lower and it pushes up, those that are long, they add to their long, and it raises their liquidation point. So this allows basically people getting greedy, expecting it to continue down or continue up, by them adding to their positions. It makes it easier for the exchanges to take them out by sending price up and down. Now, there's a possibility we push up. I'll give you those key resistance levels. But I do think it's more likely, we might push up a bit, but it's going to take some time before we hit 28K, because again, I think once we hit that point, we're going to crash. So do follow the heat maps, guys. You can just go under YouTube search and type book maps for Bitcoin, and you'll find quite a few of them. Now, I have talked about in previous videos, let's see here. I talked about nvidia, and I told you guys, I said when we cross this ring, and now I'll show you the published chart. I published a chart when we were back here, but I said, look, I think that pretty soon the AI bubble is going to pop, and I think it already did pop based on this chart. As I'm sure a lot of you are aware, there's only like 7 stocks keeping the stock market up right now: Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, and now nvidia, because of this whole AI craze. And I mentioned to you guys, I said, as long as you're above this red ring with nvidia, just keep going long. But once you cross it to go short, you see we've already dropped. This is a published chart, just to show you. I published this on July 6th, and you can see when I published it, we were finding support on it. So it's like every time you hit it long, but once you cross, expect it to drop. You see it plays. You see how it played out. Now you don't see this candle here. This candle won't show up until tomorrow, but you can see clearly how well we just rode right up this ring, and once we crossed it, we came down. Now I believe we have a lot of downside for nvidia. Again, I believe the bubble just popped based on this fib circle, and I believe a lot of the other markets are going to come down as well. And remember, when these few stocks that are keeping the stock market up, once that bubble pops and they start dropping, the rest of the indices are going to come down with it. And remember, Bitcoin follows the indices. So I just wanted to cover that. We did cross that ring. I'm expecting a lot of downside for nvidia and some of these larger stocks. So this is that ring I was talking about in the previous video. I'm calling it the next drop ring. Now I'm not going to rehash and go through this all over again, but I'm just going to tell you based on previous white rings. Again, notice we crossed this ring. We had a pivot to go down, right? This ring right here, we were pushing up. As soon as we cross it, the pivot was to go sideways. So remember, a pivot can be we go up and you cross it and then it's sideways. That's what happened. Right now we're going sideways. So either the pivot's going to be up or the pivot's going to be down. I believe the pivot will be to the downside. And you notice I said 5 days. There is currently, this is on the weekly. This chart was created on the weekly, so I'm only playing this ring on the weekly. So notice we're holding just above. This blue moving average is the 21-week moving average. That is currently our support. When that support breaks, expect a lot of downside. So again, we have 4 days and 5 hours before the next weekly candle. This weekly candle is on the ring. Once we cross the ring, that's when I expect to get the pivot. So I believe that's when the major move is going to start, is probably within the next 5 days. I would also like to point out, notice I had this yellow line here. Take note that the volume has been decreasing ever since we dropped back here in, this was back in June 6th. Notice in 2022, notice that ever since this point, right, volume has been decreasing, getting lower and lower and lower, which means this whole move right here is basically a structure that's getting ready to either break to the upside or the downside. And I do believe, based on other charts I have, I do think downside is likely. Now let me give you my prediction how I'm expecting this to play out in a pattern that I see repeating. Notice I have these white arrows and these yellow arrows. So I'm just going to grab a bars pattern, and this ties into what I was saying earlier about they can't drop it down to 28K yet because that would crash the markets, and I don't think they have enough to push it up, you know, to 32K, but they're going to keep ranging up and down to stop out longs and shorts before sending it in the direction I think it's going to go, which is to the downside. But let me show you this bars pattern. So if I just basically just grab from this point right here all the way to right here. When we take these bars, I think this is a pattern that's basically just repeating. It's a smaller version of it. Let me size this down and try to get it to match. I'll zoom in a bit. All right, I'm going to try to match this. So you'll notice right here. So I believe, now it's a little different. Not every pattern is the same, but you can sometimes use these to get an idea. So keep in mind, I was talking about this ring, right? So let's measure the time to get down. So if we follow this pattern, which is very possible, and take note, this resistance level I've had on this this peak of the next bull run chart, we came up, tested this almost perfectly at 30,228. So your current strongest resistance level to watch is around 30,274. I'll show you another chart that's in confluence with that. But that could have been the top for this drop to come down. And again, as I showed you with the heat map here, while we do have some liquidity above, we have a lot of liquidity below. So they're going to have to take this out, and I think within the next 4 to 5 days, I think that will be taken out. Now let's measure the time for this. All right, so let's just measure from right here. So this is that ring. Now I just basically just copied this white ring from the weekly chart, this ring right here. I just copied this fib circle from the weekly and pasted it in on the daily. So you can see right here, this white ring is that same ring on the daily. Give me a sec here. All right, so this ring right here is the same ring. Now, I do think it's very likely if this pattern does play out, that means we're gonna potentially 30,274 was the top, and we're headed down to test around possibly 27,900. The next key support level I have below, let me make this bigger so you can see it, is around, if we come down to test this, and this is just a blue, this blue line right here. Let me make this thicker so you can see it. So you can see this right here. If you go back, you can see that this has been a key resistance level. It was resistance back here. Price label. This resistance here at 61,000, 58,569. It was resistance again, 52,376. It was support and resistance. Resistance here, it was resistance right here, 42,593. Let's zoom in a bit, and you can see it was resistance again. That was a perfect rejection at almost 31K. So that is very possible that we come down if this fractal plays out. And remember, I'm telling you guys, crossing this ring, I'm expecting downside. Do not forget, tomorrow is the CPI, so it's going to be an interesting day. That's why I want to make sure you have these resistance levels to pay attention to. So again, 30,274 is your current strongest resistance above. That's where we got rejected. So if we come down, it's very possible, because this line right here, make this blue, but because this has been a very strong resistance, this could flip as support. So I think what's very possible, and now we could push up a bit, we could test 30,274. Hell, we could push all the way up to potentially 30,800. There is liquidity up there. But right now, if we do push up, your first point to chance is short. If we push up to 30,274, that would be a point to enter short with a stop above. But if we continue down and follow this fractal, which looks like that's what's happening, the next point to potentially chance a long or take profit on your short is around 27,600. But I believe how it's going to play out, and I was going to measure this. So from this ring, that is about 13 days. If we go back here to, let's see, this is about 5 days. So right here, this would be the point where we would cross that ring on the weekly. This fib circle on the weekly, that's when we'll officially have crossed it. And remember, this chart was created on the weekly, so that's how you would play it. This is just for timing and seeing, how we're respecting the ring on the daily. But I do believe that we are going to come down, potentially we're topped out, we're going to come down to test 27,600. That will take out all of this liquidity right here. See how bright green this is? We get all of this liquidity down here. And these are very high leveraged long positions. So they're going to take it out. But once that happens, I think that's when the crash begins. And if you will notice, let's go back to this chart. So if I zoom out, again, this looks like a huge rising wedge, right? So this was a resistance, support, resistance, support. We didn't quite make it all the way up. Again, there's some weakness in the market. They just can't push it that high. So what I'm saying is we're going to come down. We will test support. I believe this support will break. That's what this ring is. These rings are pivot points showing you when the trajectory is going to change or something's about to happen. And it just so happens it's happening right when the CPI data comes out tomorrow, which I believe will come in hot. So I think what's likely to happen, and let's just pull this out. Now, it can be, there's crazy wicks. Trying to find the exact point is going to be tough. But I think likely how this is going to play out is we are going to break that support, right? So something like this. We're going to continue down, follow this fractal, probably get a bounce. We're going to break this, all right? Come down, test 27,600 around that area. That is going to be a very strong support level, all right? All of the liquidity below will be taken out. Then price will bounce, push back up, people start getting bullish, long start to stack, and depending on when we make contact, it would make sense. Typically that's what happens. You'll break a key support, you'll come down to test another support level, push back up, and then test that resistance level. So it's very possible once we break, and this is right around 28,900. So like I said, in order to take out this liquidity below, we'll already be breaking below a key support level, which is the support on this rising wedge. Then we'll push back up. Again, depends on how fast we push up. If we push up sooner, it's 29,500. If it's out here, it could be 30K. But I do think when we do come down and test 27,600, I think the top coming up and testing this this support flipped as resistance, you're looking at potentially 29,500 to 30K. That's what I'm expecting, and then from that point, then I think we have a lot more downside. So, whether I'm going to take profit on my short here or just hold it and add to it, I'll keep you guys updated in Discord. So that's what I'm expecting to play out. But again, like I said, I'm expecting something major to happen when this next weekly candle opens because it will be past the ring. And like I said, I'm expecting a lot of downside for nvidia and some of these larger stocks like Tesla and Microsoft and Apple. And again, they're the only ones holding up the stock market right now. Once they come down, that's pretty much it. So I will pick the coin winners, guys. Just again, if you do want to sign up for BitGet, the link to sign up is pinned in the first comment and description. And do not forget to watch that tutorial video. I'll have a link for all that in the description as well. And if you want to sign up for, if you're in the US, you're looking for exchange to sign up to trade and not have to worry about using a VPN or KYC, jump on a CoinCatch while you can. When exchanges get larger, U.S. regulators come after them, and then they'll start having to do KYC and VPN. Right now, they don't have that, so like I said, jump on it while you can. That link to sign up is pinned in the first comment description. So let's go ahead and pick the coin winners from the last video. I already have this up, guys. So I need to grab the link and put it in there. So this video from 7 days ago. Again, if you liked, comment, and you're subscribed, you qualify to win. So I'm gonna pick those two winners now. So I'm gonna click copy, and let's go over here and let's see. All right, let's make sure to include replies, filter duplicates. All right, so put in the URL and pick a winner. Here we go. So I have two winners. I am not a robot. Okay, go ahead. All right, the winner is YIU. Remember, I'm going to verify that you are subscribed. Thank you, Steve. Great video, like always. Thank you, Yui or you. Roger Mizzy. Thank you for all your great content you put out there on YouTube. Very much appreciated. Well, thank you, Roger Mizzy. So, Yiu is a winner, and Roger Mizzy is a winner. So in order to claim your coin, this is how it works. You need to email me through the website, guys. Just go to my website. That link's also pinned in the first comment and description. Click on contact. Use that email address. Send me an email. Say that you won the coin. and I will give you a code or some random word. I'll have you go back and edit your comment on that previous video to verify it was your comment, and then I will go back and check that, and if you made that comment or you edited your comment with that word, then I'll know it was you, and I will send you a coin. And again, we pay for shipping. But again, guys, if you'd like, comment, subscribe on this video, you can win a coin. I'll pick the 2 coin winners in the next video. But again, guys, you want to sign up, the website is opticalcrypto.com, links pinned first comment description. I have tutorials teaching you my method of charting. If you want to learn how to create these fib circles, and I use mostly fib channels, I do teach you my method. If you want to sign up for that, you get 6-month access. I also have stocks, like I showed you, nvidia, and of course, Bitcoin, altcoin charts, and that gives you access to Discord. But that's it, guys. Trade safe, trade smart. Just remember, I'm expecting a major move to happen in the next 5 days based on this ring. And let me give you those key support and resistance levels to pay attention to, as I promised. I almost forgot. So your current key strongest support level to chance of longs to be around 29,165 down to 29,133. If that breaks, your next support level to pay attention to is right down around, depending on when you make contact, 28,676 to 28,700. Your closest, strongest resistance level now is around 29,912. If we do push above that, next resistance to pay attention to is 30,081. And the highest point I think we would go if we did get one hell of a pump. Again, this has been a very strong resistance level back here. It could get a wick above, but I think 30,354 would be probably the strongest resistance level. But these are the ones to pay attention to. Remember, once we break below a certain point, that is when I believe, again, once we take out liquidity down around 28,000, 27,600, it's game over. We've already broken critical support, but I do think it's likely we'll push up, probably get rejected around 30K, and then down we go, and with the rest of the indices as well. That's it, guys. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.